I was born of pressure and heat, forged in the heart of the earth to be unbreakable, a perfect, unbroken circle, a promise made solid, given form in cool, heavy gold. I was meant to be an anchor in the storm of time. Now, I am just cold. The dust of forgotten days has settled into my engravings, a soft gray shroud over the sharp edges of the vow I represent. I lie on a surface of dark wood, a forgotten period, at the end of a sentence no one reads anymore. Beside me rests a glass, a faint ring of condensation. It left long ago now, just a ghostly outline. There is no warmth here, no finger to lend me purpose. I simply exist, a small, silent weight in the dark, listening to the house breathe around me. The moon draws a pale blade of light across the floorboards, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the still air like tiny lost souls. The room holds its breath. It smells of absence, of perfume that has faded into the wallpaper, and the sharp, metallic tang of old tears that have dried on the pillowcase. The silence is different now. I have known many silences, the peaceful quiet of sleep, the charged silence of unspoken anger, the comfortable silence of two people reading in the same room. This is a new kind of silence. It is the hollow echo of a space that has been emptied, the sound of a question that will never be answered. Sometimes, a floorboard creaks in the apartment upstairs, and for a moment, I remember the weight of his footsteps, the careful, heavy tread that would make the air grow tight. I remember the sound of her breathing changing, becoming a shallow, fragile thing, a whisper, not of love, but of pleading, a sound I was never meant to hear, a sound that cracked the perfect, placid reflection on my polished surface. A car passes on the street outside, its headlights sweeping across the wall, and the brief flash of light catches my surface. For an instant, I shine, and in that shine, I remember everything. I remember the light, not this fleeting, lonely beam, but the constant, warm glow of being on her hand. I was an extension of her. I felt the warmth of a coffee mug on a winter morning. I felt the shock of cold ocean water on a summer day, the grit of sand that she would carefully brush away from me. I felt the soft skin of a handshake, the rhythmic tap, tap, tap on a steering wheel as she hummed to a song on the radio. I was proud then. I would catch the sun and throw tiny rainbows on the wall, a daily celebration of the vow I held. She would twist me around her finger when she was thinking, a habit that felt like a secret conversation between us, a silent reassurance. Then, the conversations changed. The air grew thick with words unsaid, and I felt the tension in her grip. The twisting became frantic, a desperate, repetitive motion, as if trying to hold on to something that was already turning to sand. I began to hear the fragments, like broken glass on the floor, sharp and dangerous, just working late. You know how it is. His voice, a little too smooth, a little too practiced. Who was that on the phone? They hung up when I answered. Her voice, a threadbare thing, worn thin with suspicion. You're being crazy. It's nothing. I'm tired of this. I felt the lie before she understood it. I felt it in the way her hand would tremble when he entered a room, a tremor that traveled from her heart, down her arm, to me. I saw the faint, blue-purple marks on her wrist that she would cover with a sleeve, her fingers unconsciously hiding me, as if I were the source of shame. I, the symbol of her pride, now hidden like a wound. I remember the night she sat in the dark, long after he had fallen asleep in the other room, and I felt the single hot tear that fell and pooled around my setting. It was salt and sorrow, a tiny, private ocean of grief. The turning point wasn't a shout, it was a scent, the cheap, sweet smell of a perfume that wasn't hers, clinging to his collar like a ghost when he came home. It was a smell that didn't belong in this house, in their life. That night, there were no questions, no accusations, only a profound and terrible quiet that was louder than any argument. She walked to the side of the bed, her movements slow, almost ceremonial, like a sleepwalker. Her fingers, the ones I had known so intimately, closed around me. There was no anger in the gesture, no violent pull, only a deep, hollow resignation. She slid me from her finger. The loss of her warmth was immediate, a physical shock. The connection severed. She placed me gently on the cold wood of the nightstand, the small click of gold on wood the loudest sound in the universe. She placed me right beside the smiling photograph of their wedding day. She didn't look at me. She looked at the woman in the picture, the one with so much hope in her eyes, and I saw the faintest shake of her head, a final, silent apology to the girl she used to be. Then she walked away. The sound of her footsteps faded down the hall. The front door opened, and then it closed, and the silence that followed, it was absolute. It was the sound of forever breaking. I no longer wait for her touch. To be forgotten is not an ending, but a transformation. I have become part of the room's stillness, another layer of its quiet history. I watch the seasons change through the window, the sun painting the wall a different shade of gold each afternoon. My purpose was to bind, but my fate is to be left behind. This is my peace now, the acceptance of dust, the companionship of shadows. I am the promise he made and the lie he lived. I am a wedding ring. Humans measure their lives in years, in heartbeats, in breaths. I have come to measure time in layers of dust and the slow fading of a photograph. They believe a circle is the symbol of forever, an unbreakable loop. But they forget that a life is a straight line drawn from one point to another, and lines can be broken. I was forged to be a constant, a perfect, unchanging thing in a world of chaos. But I have learned that an object is only as strong as the hand that wears it, only as true as the heart that offers it. My gold does not tarnish, but the promise did.